Are you ready? Hey! Are you ready? Are you ready for the competition?
What it do, Jive Turkeys, and welcome back to The Controversy. I'm your host, Ethen Elliott-Carter, and to the left of me, I have the most beautiful girl in the world, Tatiana Wilson.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me on this review of the Showtime show, The Good Lord Bird. One of the shows this year that I actually enjoyed, and very underrated show. I don't feel like it's got a lot of buzz.
I haven't heard anybody talk about it.
We are the only people I know, me and you, and you and I, that are talking or seeing this show. If you've seen this show, please let us know in the comments and your thoughts as well, as we review The Good Lord Bird, starring Ethen Hawke and what was the kid's name?
Joshua Caleb Johnson.
Joshua Caleb Johnson, who I feel like if he is seen on the show by some of these eyes, he will be a fantastic actor in the future. What do you think?
Definitely. Like, he carried this show, I feel like, so well.
Absolutely.
That, yeah, if he gets some people looking at him, like, he could definitely go far. Like, if he has the right people in his corner to push him and get him good roles like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Watch out for Joshua Caleb Johnson. Seriously, he's a powerhouse. So this movie, like we said, stars Ethen Hawke. It's about the story of John Brown. John Brown was a white man living in the 1800s that thought it was his God-given sole duty on this earth to free the Negro slave. As he says multiple times on the show, this is his calling. Yeah. So he's out there, and this is before the Civil War. Obviously, we know the Civil War was fought over slavery. So this was like kind of the stepping stone to Civil War, as he, thought that owning slaves was a sin. So he wanted to be that guy to free the slaves. Yeah. Using scripture and his religion to guide him on that path, and he brings his children along.
All of however many of them he had,
like
all like 8 kids or 8 sons.
John Brown got down. You know what I'm saying? He's got all those kids, which as a parent, I mean, I like the cause he's fighting for, but I don't think I would bring all of my kids to a potential
they were grown,
shootout.
I guess, or most of them were grown.
Were they? Yeah.
Most of them were grown for the time.
Grownish, yeah, I guess.
Time.
Yeah, I guess they were middle schoolers.
Grown is
12 years old.
Is really young.
You're the man of the house now, kid.
Yeah, you're 15 running shit. So, yeah.
So the premise of the story is he has this little gang, mostly of his friends and family, and they're going around town to town trying to free a slave. They run into this town and they try to free some slaves, and a slave accidentally gets killed, and they snatch this boy up that was the son of the slave, and they free him, and he's still in shock, and he's never seen a dead body before. All this happened. He's seen his father die, and in the confusion of all that, he somehow brings confusion to John Brown, and John Brown thinks that this little boy is a girl.
Yeah, he thought that his dad had called him Henrietta when really his name was Henry.
So one of the funniest things I've ever seen is this man who his personality is great. He reminds me of like if Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean was in slave time, freeing slaves. So this man keeps calling this boy a girl, and to the point he gets him a dress. And
yeah, he felt bad about obviously, his dad getting killed, and so he was like, I'll do anything to make it up to you, like what can I do? And he had this gift, like this dress that he had bought and spent a lot of money on for his daughter at home that he was going to bring back to her, and he was like, here, take this, she would want you to have it. So he gets stuck wearing this girl's dress like the whole series.
And this is where I start to be like, wow, okay, so I'm tired of slave shows and shows like that are just all about racial injustice and stuff like that. It's great for the conversation, but I kind of want to see black people in different lights. But the fact that they switched this up to being like a serious free a slave type movie, and they put some humor in it, I really enjoyed that. So this whole show, it doesn't stop at this episode. This whole show, he's keeping on this charade that he's a girl,
Somehow. You don't look like a girl at all.
The other slaves ain't buying it. They're like, yo, you a girl. You were the ugliest girl I've ever seen in my life. You are definitely a man.
Yeah.
You're a boy. It's obvious, but John Brown doesn't know. So he's treating him like a female, making sure he doesn't do all the manual labor. So he's kind of enjoying that part. And along the way, too, we meet historical figures. Because like I said, this is a story that's fictional, but based on all true events. John Brown actually lived. He actually did try to free slaves, and people in this show that actually lived, like Frederick Douglass, who I learned on this show, had a wife and a white girlfriend.
From Europe.
From Europe. Not only is that very progressive for the 1800s, that's progressive for 2020. Holy crap, he is hundreds of years ahead of his time. Props to Frederick Douglass on that.
Like living in the same home.
Living in the same home, like they
were aware.
Wow.
He wasn't sneaking around. They were aware of each
I
other.
had to fact check that one. I was like, there's no way Frederick Douglass had a black wife with a white girlfriend living in the house. Boy, was I wrong. That actually happened. That is a true fact. Look that up. Holy crap, that is pimping. So we see characters like Frederick Douglass, and we also see one of my heroes, which is Harriet Tubman, one of the best American heroes of all time that freed slaves herself. We see run-ins with them as well, and we see some of the harsh things of slavery as we do in some of these shows like this. But one of my favorite parts is just how dedicated John Brown was to this cause of freeing the slaves. He got robbed. He's getting beaten up. His family and friends have died right in front of him, but it was
almost all of them.
All of them. And he, that was his sole purpose in life. Like, this is wrong, and we need to figure this out. Not one time did he be like, this ain't even worth the fight and the gas. No, he kept it going.
He didn't care what it took.
And I would have loved to hear more. I never learned about this guy in high school or college. I've heard stories from a lot of my friends that know a lot about Black history. I've heard his name come up, but I didn't know this story highlighted a lot that I wanted to be like, yo, what really was the story about this hero that basically started a ripple effect to get to the Civil War.
I wonder if there's
and free
like a
the
good
slaves.
Documentary or something out there on him.
If there is, please let us know in the comments. So what are your final thoughts on this show, though? Do you recommend it? Do you have any pros and cons to it?
I would recommend it. I feel like you said, like, even though it's like a heavy topic that was touched on a lot of it is really light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not difficult to get through.
Absolutely.
So that was nice because a lot of stuff is like, this is a lot. I don't know if I want to watch this, but so I like that they did that. I like the extra like comedic bits that they threw in there.
I liked a lot of the cameos. We had Killer Mike, we had Daveed Diggs,
Rafael
Casal, who were both in the movie Blind Spotting, and Daveed Diggs is
from Hamilton.
And yeah, we had fun fact too, if you ever seen the movie Boyhood, the boy that plays the kid in Boyhood also played one of his sons in this movie show.
Yeah, he had a son again.
He played his son twice.
Show. Yeah.
And this is the first time I've seen him outside of the Boyhood movie, and he did a pretty good job in this too.
Didn't you say one of his own?
His actual daughter was in the show.
His daughter played his daughter.
His daughter played his actual daughter too, and I looked at her because she's the prodigy. She's a daughter of him and what's her name?
Uma Thurman.
It's the daughter of him and Uma Thurman. So I looked at her. She looks
exactly like
Uma
both
Thurman.
of them. Actually,
I looked it up. It's the same chick from the last Stranger Things season 3, the one from Chips Ahoy. Yeah. So. She's out there doing a thing. So it looks like this was a great passion project for Ethen Hawke. He got the whole family involved, friends involved, and I loved it. Seriously, it doesn't seem like something that's getting a lot of attention.
And of course, Ethen Hawke killed it.
Ethen Hawke's one of my favorite actors. Yes,
absolute genius.
Best way to describe this character, seriously, is like is what I said about Johnny Depp's portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow. But freeing slaves. Yeah. Like, he had an amazing personality.
100%. And it was just so funny to see, like, the other characters interact with his character, because everybody else is, like, pretty level-headed, but they're down for the cause because they agree with it. But they're all like, yo, this dude is crazy. Like,
Yes.
They're all just like, oh my god.
He's insane,
like,
but we're following him, you know, because he's got the word of God. Somehow he's lasted for a long time.
he's made it this far.
There was a
Yeah.
scene too where the boy that's playing the girl, his name is Onion, was in the middle of a shoot. They're in the middle of a shootout. John Brown and his boys are shooting out with these townspeople, and Onion's just in the middle, just scared out of his mind. And he's like, Onion, I heard you were chewing tobacco and saying swear words, and he's all like, have you given out your girl parts? And he's like, no sir, I haven't. And he's like, all right, let's do a prayer. They're doing a prayer in the middle of a shootout.
He's literally like he's like spitting just like a verse, like quote John 6:13.
And he's testing everybody around him, like, what does this verse say? What does this verse say?
Like,
and there's bullets
there
flying.
are people dying right now, and
That's
you're
how
just spitting verses.
That's how dedicated he was to his religion and his cause. So yes, did you guys see The Good Lord Bird? Let us know in the comments what you thought of it, and I definitely recommend it. One of the best shows of this year. And if you have seen it, please tell people to watch it. It really needs more eyes.
It does.
Help keep your brother out the streets. Subscribe to my dad's YouTube channel. Love, peace, and chicken.